Lopez, proud farmer, owner of Finca T, and proud father of Alejandra.
Yes, so it's no secret, he is my father. So I'm super excited to do this segment with him. Cheers.
Cheers, Ale.
So today we're going to be talking to Al, my father, and talking about Finca T. You know, what the farm is all about, the story behind it, Al and his upbringing, along with some of the questions you guys submitted. So I'll be asking him some of those questions. So first thing that we, want to cover is Finca Terrerito. What does it mean to you?
Wow, we could spend a lot of time on that, Ale. But Finca T for me is heritage. It's land that has been in my family since 1961. Land that I bought from my mother in the early 2000s. And in 2008, when I left my corporate career here in the USA and decided that it was time for me to give back, and I wanted to go help the community of Honduras, the place where I was born and raised, I decided that I could make a difference with the coffee farmers. I am a fourth generation coffee farmer, and when we were little, when we were kids, we barely made ends meet. My grandfather, my grandmother, my mother, all coffee farmers, and we struggled with that. And I had figured out a way that I thought I could make a difference. And it was simply trying to execute a strategy, Ale, where I went direct to roaster.
Right.
I wanted to go from the farm gate to the roaster, develop strong relationships with that roaster, give him the best quality coffee, and in exchange, build that relationship and get a better price.
Right.
And I was looking for a price where the farmer could make a decent living, where the farmer could send their kids to school, where the farmer could afford medical if needed. That's what drove me, and that's what Finca T means to me today. Heritage and a way to make a difference for other farmers.
Right. Dad, I am curious. The planning must have taken a while, patience and determination. What were the critical steps in creating Finca T?
Ale, that's a great question. So, I mapped this out in the mid 2000s, but the first step, Ale, was I wanted to create a model farm. Finca T was born with the three main pillars in mind: improving lives, sustainability in everything we did, and the production of extraordinary coffee. So the first thing I wanted to do under the pillar of improving lives was I wanted to have infrastructure that treated the co-workers much better than if they were living in their own home. So I started, Ale, by building sleeping quarters to be able to house 250 plus workers.
And they're nice sleeping quarters. I've seen them myself. Yeah.
With indoor plumbing, bathrooms,
Clean
showers,
water. Yeah.
kitchens. The next thing, Ale, was I wanted our coffee to be extraordinary, right? So one of the main variables for that is clean water, to make sure that you do your wet washing with clean water. I perforated, hired some people to do it, a water well that's 400 feet deep in the ground. That water is tested, it's good enough to drink, and I built a 33,000 gallon water reservoir so that we're able to process our coffee with clean water. That's the water that you and I drink, Ale, when we're at the farm. All our co-workers drink. That was huge. And then sustainability. Ale, I mapped out everything. Zero hunting policy at the farm. Zero forest destruction. When we started planting and mapping out the planting of the farm, we worked with the existing trees. I dug a water pond to have tilapia in there, with the idea of feeding the workers, giving them something different. I built a stable, Ale, for cattle and for horses. You know, I'm passionate about horses. I love horse riding.
He is. He's a cowboy at heart.
And then the cattle, the idea was to be able to have milk for the co-workers, to make our own cheese, sour cream,
Now you're making me hungry.
you know, and everything organic.
Yeah, that's
right?
the best part. Literally from farm to plate, farm to cup. You know.
Exactly. So that's how the mapping of Finca T happened. You know, it was slowly,
Yeah.
it took years to make that happen. A lot of investment. I ran electric from the town, Corquín,
Electricity? Okay.
all the way to our farm. You know,
Yeah.
that's a couple of kilometers on my own dime. And again, people were saying, you know, Mr. Lopez has lost it, right?
Yeah.
But to operate a wet processing center, you need electricity to operate it right. I wanted the co-workers to have electricity. You know, I had all those things in mind and executed slowly.
Yeah.
And you know, here we are today. I mean, Finca T, I'm proud. It's a model farm. I have a
It
great
really
crew
is.
down there.
And you know, ever since I was younger, I can remember he's been telling me, simplify and execute. You know, and I want to say this must come from your background in the Army, the military. How has being in the military affected the way that you've executed Finca T?
Absolutely. My experience in the military, my training in the military has helped me tremendously in my corporate world and also with the construction building of Finca T. So in the military, we learn, we're trained. You know, I'm 11 Bravo infantry, so forward.
Yeah.
Always forward, forever forward, right?
Yeah.
Every time I ran into a roadblock at Finca T, and there were many. I mean, when I tell you that we ran electricity from the town to the farm, you don't call the electric company to do that. You know, you got to do that yourself.
Yeah.
So simplify and execute. I always kept that in mind. Forever forward, move forward, infantry.
Yeah.
That's what we do. And Ale, that's what has us here, you know, today. There was never a guarantee that after I started planting the farm, you know, you wait 4 years for that first harvest,
Yeah.
right? There was never a guarantee that I was going to have a buyer.
Yeah.
You know, in the first 2 years, I was not able to export our coffee, you know,
Yeah.
but then it happened,
Yeah,
right?
with
With
time
time and
passion.
a lot of work, a lot of support from a lot of people,
Yeah.
and here we are today. Just, it's been a blessing.
Yeah. What does it feel like to work with family?
Right? To be able to sit here today and share with you and the viewers the fact that I am so privileged to work with my daughters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our business is a family business, and to have been blessed that Harry, my Leticia's husband,
Yeah.
came into the picture. You know, Mom and I used to worry about when I got old, what would I do with the farm? I had two beautiful young ladies.
Well, not to worry anymore. I've got it covered. You
That's
know?
right. Yeah, you know, for me, the legacy will continue. I am so proud of the two of you guys, of Harry. You're following my footsteps. You believe in improving lives, in sustainability, and the production of extraordinary coffee. So I am a happy man.
So it's nice to know that we're making our female footprint, so to speak, on the land and really make sure that other women are having a say, you know, just being there and being an advocating voice for other women farmers.
Ale, women play such a critical role in the
Yeah.
coffee industry. From the farming side, to the roasting, to the baristas.
They do everything. Like,
Absolutely. You've seen what women do at Finca T, how hard they work,
yeah.
their commitment. It's really second to none. And that's why, you know, we're also proud of our certification con manos de mujeres,
Yeah.
with women hands,
Mhm.
where, you know, we did that to continue to support
Yeah.
and educate people,
Recognize
these
female
females and the importance that they play. And
Yeah.
we want to make sure that they are treated as equal or
Yeah.
better
Right.
than men are when it comes to compensation,
farmers.
making things easier for them. You know, they're the ones that cooking at Finca T.
Yeah.
We have separate kitchens for them with water right next to them where they can cook. They don't have to go to a river, carry water.
And boy, do they know how to cook. Oh my gosh, their food is so good.
Absolutely, which is one of the things I'm missing. The pandemic has me in
I
the
know.
U.S. right now, but I'm looking forward to going to the farm. You know,
Yeah.
I talk to them, I Zoom with them twice a day, but I miss being there dearly.
It's like your second home.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, well, so should we dive into some of the questions that we got, sent
Let's-
in from our audience?
Yes, please,
All right,
let's do it.
Our first question, what's it like growing up in Honduras?
It was heaven.
Mhm.
You know, it was so different, right? We grew up in nature. We grew up in open land, in farmland. There was no TV. We had no television. There were no video games. So everything was outside. You know, our playground was the farmland.
How did growing up in Honduras affect who you are today? Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a great question. It had a tremendous impact on who I am today because I was able to grow up in a place where we had very little,
Yeah,
Ale, so I learned to appreciate
yeah,
all the beauty of this country.
Mhm.
You know, the opportunities that we have here
Yeah.
to succeed. If you work hard, the opportunities are there. This is the country where you can be all you want to be.
yeah,
You know, I always keep that in perspective that
Yeah.
in Honduras and a lot of other countries similar to that, you know, a lot of people, children, don't have the opportunities
yeah,
that we have here in the States. And having the experience of not having what we have here really made me appreciate it and gave me the hunger to go and conquer it. You know?
What was the culture shock like?
It was incredible. The biggest one, Ale, we came from Honduras to Miami. We changed planes. Don't ask me how we changed planes, and we went through immigration.
Yeah.
We had these big tags on us.
Managed to do that without speaking like one word of English.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
So mom told us, follow the people, follow
Yeah.
the people.
Yeah.
But when we're landing, so Miami to Chicago, we're on an American Airlines flight, and it's about a 9 p.m. landing
Mhm.
in O'Hare, Chicago. Ale, you know, electricity was foreign to us.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we're landing and we see the city just lit up.
Yeah, filled with lights.
I punched my brother because he was half asleep. I said, wake up, wake up. The city is on fire.
Oh my gosh. I think I've heard of this story before. Yeah.
I was like, we are gonna burn. Look at, and he was like,
You're freaking out. Yeah.
and then he was freaking out, and we're like, oh my God, what do we do? What do we do?
But everyone else is calm.
Yeah, that was culture shock. And then the parking lot, I was seeing so many cars. We were like, oh my God, our car's free here. How could it be? How could there be so many cars?
Yeah.
And then highways.
Yeah.
I mean, every little thing. I was stepping in a rug. We had never stepped in a rug before. So we got home to my father's place and my stepmom, and this house had a rug. And we're like, oh my God, what do you do?
Yeah.
You know? And we were writing back to our mother saying, Mom, on the floor here, like you step and you sink.
Oh, because of a carpet?
Because of a carpet.
Oh.
You know, that was our way of explaining
Yeah.
the-
What a carpet was.
yeah, and what a different world we were in. So the culture shock,
Wow.
some great things,
Yeah.
others were not so great. Ale, we were exposed to racism. You
Mhm.
know, I got beaten black and blue because I have this beautiful tan.
Mhm.
You know, growing up in the 70s in Southside Chicago was not
Not
a
easy.
picnic, not
Yeah.
an easy
I
thing.
can only imagine.
But you know, it's part of this country. It's
Yeah.
part of who we are, and we have
Part
evolved.
of who you are today, you know.
That's right, and we've made a lot of progress.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's it for today. We're out of questions. Thank you so much, Dad, for joining me today. I really had a great time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And any further questions or any last comments you have?
Ale, just say thank you for who you are. You're having a great impact on the world. For having me here, and to our viewers out there, foremost, thank you for all your support. And if you can continue to support us, please do. I was talking to, or I heard somebody say the other day, you know, there are three basic questions that we should all be asking. The coffee that you're drinking today, do you know where it came from? Do you know the farmer? What farmer grew that coffee? And do you know who roasted the coffee? When you're at that cafe shop, ask those three questions, get the dialogue going, talk to your friends. It'll help the industry a lot. Anything you guys can do to continue to support direct trade, we appreciate it, we welcome it, we love you for it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers.